about
Dak and his new wide receiver, George Pickens, speaking of wide receivers, they're getting some reps in. Art, what do you think of this duo, the potential?
I think it can potentially be one of the best duels in football. You talk about the ability for him to take coverage off CeeDee Lamb. Ferguson just got paid, so he's happy. I think this could probably be one of Dak's best seasons, hoping that they can get some productivity from running the football, but it's going to be hard, to really stack the box when they have these weapons on the outside.
Well, there's a lot of stories going on with the Cowboys, as we know. The big story, of course, around the Cowboys is Micah Parsons' contract situation. When Jerry Jones addressed the fans at camp this weekend, he was met with some "Pay Micah" chants from the crowd.
Now down to business. Down to business.
Pay Micah. Look,
I was shocked. I was shocked.
You see that smile?
I was shocked last year when we ended up with the record that we had. I never saw that coming. A lot of changes out here, a lot of coaching changes, a lot of player changes. They're going to be Dallas Cowboys of the year 2025.
Is he running for president?
I just want to make sure we're in the right century.
What is happening, man?
19
It doesn't change
something,
anything. We want
20,
to pay Mike.
25 something. All right, but also look at what Stephen Jones had to say here about the fans chanting about Micah Parsons. He said it doesn't change anything. We want to pay Micah too. He's got to want to be paid too. What does that mean, Jeff?
He wants to be paid, I'm pretty sure.
I would hope so.
I think he's got that part figured out. Look, we're still not at a point where we feel like there's any progress. Like, we're still at the same spot when it comes to Micah and the Cowboys. The thing that is, I guess, most perplexing about that is that when you say that you're in the same spot, the problem is that gap actually continues to widen because other guys get paid. We see TJ Watt get paid. Suddenly, that moves the needle significantly, by the way. So, for whatever reason, as good as Jerry Jones has been at negotiating in every aspect of his life, he continues to not understand the idea of the negotiation in the NFL. It honestly is perplexing, the fact that if you get the deal done early, Mike T, I mean, you know this as well as anybody. You get it done early, you don't pay as much.
Mike T is winning Super Bowls all the time.
Earlier, you alluded to
he was a great
he's going to
GM,
be 30. And yeah, there's probably good arguments on both sides. This is a no-brainer.
Right.
A young pass rusher. And if we went and did the deal last year, if the four of us were running the Cowboys, look at this graphic, right? Look how much it's gone up. And all the underpinnings of the NFL, Jeff, to your point, are going up. The cap's not going down. So at a minimum, we're looking at $6.5 million a year. When you draft and hit on a young, productive, durable pass rusher, pay him right away. And when you're in an arms race with Philadelphia and now Washington, and they're getting players signed proactively and you're not, you're paying premium deals, and that's why guys like DeMarcus Lawrence and Jordan Lewis, amongst others, graduate because you can't afford them because CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are getting massive premiums.
I mean, and when you talk about it, you look at Micah Parsons. I look up; he's the 34th highest paid defensive end. We know that that's laughable right there. He's a threat every year to be Defensive Player of the Year. But also, you talk about his versatility, right? He's able to rush and be an effective pass rusher from the outside. But if you need him, he can arguably be a top 5 middle linebacker as well. So you talk about scheme versatility, being able to affect games no matter what the opponent is. If the opponent has a great running back, you can put him at middle linebacker and he can shadow and run with the best of them. If you need a pass rush and need somebody to get to the passer because you're fortunate enough to have a guy that can come in during that sub package, he can drop back or drop down and be the defensive end. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for my ability to be able to be multiple, play multiple roles within your defense. And I don't understand why.
Okay, we'll end it right there. Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes, of course, my buddy Cowboy Jobu is right over there. I should have him sitting right here on the counter, but we're cooking and Jobu's hair is like all over the place, and we don't want to eating Jobu's hair. Let me first say, shout out to Momo. Make sure everybody sends prayers to Momo. He just lost his sister yesterday, and we're definitely thinking about you, buddy. And Logan Motorsports. Logan, bro, Miss Tracy, okay, who is artist extraordinaire. Now you sent me an email because you were one of our winners. Shout out to our winners. And Jeff Lee has been winning and giving his prizes away. We've been doing we've been doing shirts and stuff. Miss Tracy is really, really good. And so apparently you had sent me an email about saying, okay, I want to give mine away. And you want it to be Mark Holmes got his teeth kicked in by the Eagles. Okay. So my wife has been working on something. And what my first thought of my teeth being kicked in was Alfred E. Newman. Now, some of y'all are probably too young to know who Alfred E. Newman is, but here's what she came up with for this shirt. Now, I want you to look at this. If you are a Mad Magazine, she got some kind of software that can merge two faces together. So it's literally me and Alfred E. Newman. And if you notice, you see how creative she is? She's got the eagle, scary eagle over there on my arm with the little Philly 500 egg and stuff, and I'm being eaten by green squirrels and all kinds of stuff. So I got your email that said that just let me know where I can send it, a P.O. box or whatever else, because she put in a lot of work, and I got to make sure that this gets out here. And I'm sure that a lot of people will say, yeah, I want to get that one. So we'll try and decide if that's going to go on to the store or not. There's Logan Motorsports. And before we get any further, I got to say shout out to the lovely ladies in the place. I see Holly Pierce. Shout out to Holly. Holly's been sending me clips of stuff from the sidelines and everything else. I appreciate that. We got Lady Libra. Shout out to Lady Libra. On both channels, double dipping. I appreciate the love and the support. There's Dirty Sanchez, keeping it dirty. Dirty, you might like Christian Watkins. You guys might be able to hang out if some of the things that we've heard are. Jimbo says, "Damn, Mark, she is really good. She's got some really nice. I mean, like this one. I tell you what, I love this one. This is a Micah Parsons one." His quote, work harder. And if you see all these different positions of players that are incorporated into it. So, yeah, she's really working on that. So, she's working on adding more and more stuff to the inventory. So, definitely check out cowboyjobu.com. Shout out to Lady Libra. Lady Libra will be getting your shirt and stuff squared away. She's been working on the design and stuff while we've been here and stuff. You're going to love it. When we get back, Thomas Garrett's in the house. Loyal. What's going on, Loyal? Loyal's in the number 2 spot. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else? Logan Motorsport, Coyote, Dan 1985, Jeff Lee. My name is Jeff. And, of course, Dirty Sanchez. Hey. Alan Williams in the house. Thomas Garrett. Now, Mark, with his Sidney Poitier voice. Philly Eagle fans. How many rings does Dak have? Oh, my God. Yeah, you can't come in and say, hello, how you doing? You got to come in hot just like that? Come on, man. Give us a little bit of a break here. All right, so I've literally been to heaven and hell, or excuse me, hell and back to heaven. Let's see. Heaven, hell, and back to okay. How about that? Because it was crazy how I woke up really early, and I was seeing this clip of Tyler Booker with Rob Jones. Rob Jones, the guard that we ended up getting from Miami, and Rob had been just inserted as the starter, at least playing starting reps. And the clip was him working with Tyler Booker and teaching him, which is actually really cool because you're saying that, this is the guy who's behind me who's going to take my job, but he's educating the young guy. And see, that's what you want with the team, that guys recognize we're a team. And then you had heard that he broke a bone in his neck. I think he broke his freaking neck. He broke his freaking neck. I know you. Okay, I know the older people know exactly what I'm talking about from the original, the only really good one, Longest Yard. I think he broke his freaking neck. So he's out 2 to 3 months. So that was a blow right there. Then we've been hearing all of these great things about Tyler Guyton, who seemed to have turned the page on all of the stuff about him. Being just a bust, and he's been doing great things. And then you saw him, and I can actually show you exactly what we saw because it was not good. let's go to the update here. This was, when I saw him go down, he was on his stomach. It was like, oh shit. Tay Cowboys in the house. What's up, Tay? And you see who's right there with him. Micah Parsons. Now, when you look at Micah and Tyler Guyton, you see how big that guy is. He's huge. Injuries are mounting up here early. So you saw him working his way, and the initial early reports were they feared it being an ACL tear. And it's just like, oh crap. Because we've got Asim Richards is the backup. And you're sitting here, D Moore, what's up? What's up? What's up? So you're sitting here thinking, oh, God, I hate this team. I hate this. I hate training camp. I hate everything. You know, Momo's over here talking about they don't do enough hitting and stuff in training camp and everything else. Well, we've gotten quite a few people we've lost in the last couple of days. And so they said, you know, they feared an ACL, and you're sitting here pounding your head and just like, no, we don't have a left tackle. And then we got reports of the MRI. I don't know where they must have brought an MRI machine with them, because this was about as fast as it can be. It couldn't have gone to a hospital and gotten an appointment for it. They must have had an MRI machine they have in the locker room and stuff. And I guess as much money as they're worth, they can afford to have one. Because what came out is, no, the ACL is structurally fine, but it's a fracture. A bone, or basically a bone bruise, which is a 4 to 6 week type injury. Now, 6 weeks would put him right there for the Eagles game. The problem, of course, is you're talking about now missing all of training camp and getting all those reps. So I don't know if it'd end up being that he would be ready for week 1. Lovely Linda. What's going on, Linda? Welcome to the chat. So there's that. Now, we also have, which might be sealing his fate, is Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell, of course, damn, I can't remember what his leg injury is. But he's going to be out. Is it a hamstring, or is it, I can't remember. Somebody will remind me what it is. But he's probably going to be out for about 2 weeks, and that's going to allow a lot of these younger guys to kind of step in. The Jalen Brooks, the Ryan Fenoys, and all that. Give him hell, young fella. Keep your Diddy oil warm. What the hell? Dirty? What are you talking about? Give him hell, young fella, if you keep your Diddy oil warm. What the hell is that? What does that mean, Dirty? But you had Paris Campbell last year. I don't think he's going to make the roster. With the injury and stuff, not being able to get the injury, it's MCL. That's it, MCL sprain. He's going to be out for probably 1 to 2 more weeks, and I don't think he's going to make the roster. I think that's going to be the final nail in the coffin right there, so to speak. So we have all of those things that have been happening here that are the bad news. The good news is, oh my goodness, it's funny. I'm glad it's actually football season. I'm glad we're actually able to report on things that are actually happening on the field. Because you guys might remember about 3 weeks ago, there was a report out there that they were saying that, you know, Cowboys coaches had concerns about Jaden Blue and that he was borderline lazy and that, you know, he wasn't going to be much. Well, I got to tell you, either that ended up lighting a fire in his ass, or it was a bullshit report. And I'm betting that we're getting more and more, finding out more and more that these reports that you heard or speculation that people had were just straight up bullshit. Fifth-round draft pick Jaden Blue has been among the biggest standouts from the first week of camp. Pads or no pads, Jaden Blue found his way. Jaden received high praise from head coach Brian Schottenheimer. The speed, the dynamic playmaking ability. He has a dual threat guy. He doesn't need a lot of space to make guys mix. He's uncanny. But what I like is his professionalism he's shown at this camp. Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah. He has got incredible ball vision, arguably the catch of the week when executed a one-handed diving catch downfield, and you guys all saw that. So much for everybody saying that Jaden Blue is going to be a bust and that he sucks, because right now he's actually looking good. Now, I know I got Leo in here who's saying, oh, well, that's only going against Cowboy players. And, of course, Cowboy players suck, so nobody can be actually any good. Nobody can be any good, of course, with Cowboy players in practice. And I know we're talking about practice where a lot of times, do I think Tyler Guyton will be ready for week 1? Derek G. It's possible. But I wouldn't, with it being the bone bruised, and if you're saying best case scenario, it's 4 weeks. So now we're talking about, the end of August. So you're going to get a week's worth of work and then have to go against the Eagles coming back from injury. I'd probably say that it won't be that week 1. But Leo, of course, yeah, I'm talking about you, Leo. Leo, you're hating ass. You can still have people look good in practice and people that separate, okay? I know you think that everybody in the Cowboys are down here while the Eagles are way up here, okay, above all of the other NFL teams and players, that they are like the football gods, the greatest team that's ever been put together, and that none of us are even worthy of being on the same field as you guys. Yeah. JD Sports, you pointed out, you just hit the nail on the head. That's the other problem with the Cowboys. Shout out to you on the Super Chat. Thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate it. The Cowboys always give you the best case scenario. And very rarely is that right. I remember when Neville Gallimore, the Canadian bulldozer, hyperextended his elbow in a preseason game, and they said, oh, he'll miss about 3 or 4 weeks, and it was week 12 when he came back. And it seemed like every week last week that we heard that DeRon Bland was close to returning. Oh, he's close. And it was literally like week 11, I think it was, when he finally got back on the field. So you are 100% right that the Cowboys, it's like CP time, okay? You know we always going to be late, okay? And the Cowboys time is always going to be, it's going to take longer from the heel than they think. What's good, Marcus? Leo, we are going to jump on that ass week 1. Pause. So there's some craziness going on out there. So there was Christian Watkins. Now, before I go to Christian Watkins, this is hard for me. This is hard for me to say this about one of the players, okay? I get accused of always not holding players accountable. Did you hold Dak accountable and stuff? Leo up here busting my chops yesterday saying, when it comes to playoffs, Dak sucks and everything else. That against the 49ers, he ended up running and ended up running out the clock. Well, his running backs couldn't run worse shit. And quite frankly, his 254 yards and TD pass was more than anything anybody else did on the offense. But be that as it may, I want to believe in Mozzie. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I like Mozzie, and maybe it's because I'm a one technique guy myself, okay? I understand how difficult it is. And you guys, for those out there that are always critiquing and telling people that they're a bum and you've never even played Little League football, smack yourself. Smack yourself, because you don't have a clue what it is like and what these players actually have to do to get on the field. We're talking about a guy who's got a fractured leg, and they're talking about only being gone for a month. Most of you guys get a hangnail, you ain't going to work for a week. And you're crying like a little biatch, okay? So shut up. But to play nose tackle, you got to understand, man, you get hit from every single direction. You will have parts of your body aching the day after a game that you didn't even know existed. You get hit by the center. You are literally a football length away, and every single play, you knock helmets with the center. Every play, collision, head on. And if you're not hitting the center, you get the guard on this side or the guard on that side, or sometimes the guard and the center. You got the fullback. You got the tackle sometimes doing an influence block. You got the tight end, which should be illegal, doing the wham block. In motion, and at the snap of the ball, literally diving right for you. You are a marked man, and it is hell to be in that position. Now, I don't know what was going on in this play, but you can't be on skates. You can't be on skates, Mozzie. And you got to do better than this. Let's take a look. Bend over backwards and put on his back. Come on, Mozzie. You're up high. Now, again, boom. You're up here playing boob games, okay? You're up here chest to chest. You can't be, you got to get down low, man. And look at your feet. Like, what are you doing with your feet there? You don't have any bend in your knees, man. Come on, bro. You are literally on skates going backwards. That's not good. So now, there is a guy who will go to people's ass, who will knock you out. That's out there. And there is a little issue. He is on the street. He might be a discounted player right at the moment. Here's what Christian Wilkins, now there's a question on his foot because he is supposed to have surgery, a second surgery. But there's also some questionable behavior that happened in the locker room. Let's go to the tape.
Is he? How injured is he? When's he back? What happens here with Christian Wilkins?
Again, from speaking to people inside the locker room, I think what everybody's dancing around and tiptoeing around is the fact that when you speak to people there inside the locker room, they say that Christian playfully went to kiss a teammate on top of his head, and those same people said that that player took offense to it. So that's what everybody's been dancing around and tap dancing around, an incident in the locker room where he allegedly playfully kissed a teammate on top of his head. That teammate felt offended by it. And that's what a lot of this talk and speculation that people have just been floating around out there is about.
Okay, so he kissed a teammate on the forehead in a playful manner. Teammate said, "Nope, not doing that," and went to H&R and reported this entire thing. Basically, is what happened.
I think that's probably a fair and accurate way of saying things. Yeah.
So but that tells me a lot of things. Quickly, that tells me a lot of things. So if that happens in the locker room and then they go and report it, that means the locker room probably didn't fuck with them, right? Feels like.
Yeah.
That feels like
that individual.
Pause.
I mean,
Pause.
I mean, you see some different things in the locker room. There are different people. This would classify as weird.
Yeah, I would think kissing off
a teammate bald. Because if he's bald, it's not.
What if he won a euchre game with the guy? Though?
You never know.
They're playing. Maybe they're playing Boo-Ray.
Yeah.
And the guy hit double the party. He goes, "Thank you," and kissed him on the forehead. Maybe it was that guy's.
Any smooching in the locker room.
I've never seen it either, but I'm just saying, like, hey, the pockets. This guy just lost all his. This guy lost $40,000 to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, he goes, "Let me give you."
All I'm saying is it's good luck to kiss the top of a bald head. We've seen it in the movies, stuff like that. If this guy's if he's a full head of hair, then
Isn't Gruden's boy out there? Mm-hmm. He's strength coach.
Deuce. Yeah. I believe he is Deuce. Yeah.
He didn't try to kiss Deuce's head, did he? It wasn't Deuce.
If he's a $100 million player, I'm assuming it was like Max Crosby. He's not kissing some practice squad player and then getting in that much trouble
He's
for
not
it.
slumming. Okay. So, let's be real here. Let's be real here. If the Cowboys were to bring in Christian Watkins, the Brokeback Mountain jokes will come back around again. I'm surprised they've actually disappeared because, we're still hitting the cowgirls and everything else. Come on, bro. Now you got players kissing each other. Yeah, training camp this year is different. Hold on, Leo. In my locker room, Leo, he was let go by the Raiders. See, that's how, and you want to know why I'm always busting your balls. Because, see, Leo, you don't get shit right. Come on, man. That's the Raiders training camp, okay? That's in Vegas. Maybe he thought he was at a Vegas show or something on the Vegas Strip, man. He's not one of our players. Although he was, before he was injured, one of the best one techniques out there. And we definitely have a need because I tell you what, maybe you can threaten to kiss some of the Eagles or something or other, and maybe that'll get them to back up. I don't know. But we definitely have a need right there to do more than what we're doing. So we've got that situation. And the question will be because here's the thing. He's damaged goods right now. And we know how much the Joneses like a bargain. They love a bargain. So I don't think anything will happen from that, but just bringing out the news on it. Wilkins has 22 sacks in his career at defensive tackle, which is actually a lot because you have to understand, one technique guys, you get no glory, okay? Trust me, I'd say you get no love as a nose tackle. I guess he was trying to get some love, but you get no love on there, okay? You only get your name called when you jump off sides, okay? Or you get a penalty. You don't get any love. People don't buy your jersey and things like that. And apparently you get no love in the locker room either. Now, Jay Tola has looked pretty good, but again, you need more than one guy. And right now, early on in training camp, Mozzie's not looking that good at the 1 or the 3 at the moment. And with him, the reason why I want to give Mozzie the benefit of the doubt is when they brought him in here, he was a run stopper, 340 pounds. They ended up having him lose weight. He gets under 300 pounds. And Dan Quinn basically didn't really care about him. You lose Dan Quinn, then you get Mike Zimmer, who's really here getting a cup of coffee, and a training staff that's literally on their way out the door. They're not worried about Mozzie. They're worried about trying to get somebody to play that's going to save their ass. And now you've got a third defensive coordinator who now has him losing weight again and saying we're a 3 technique. Now, if you have not played defense, okay, versus being a 3 technique. A 3 technique is typically a guy, you're going to be about a yard away from the next guy, which means you've got to work yourself upfield before you even make contact. You have to be more athletic and more physical. Dude will play for $1,000 for a few Dak feet picks. Bring him in. Oh man, Michael, come on, man. Tracy's rolling on the couch. Oh no. Dak, take one for the team. Oh my God. Come on, man. Come on, people. Y'all can't be like that now. Come on. So is Mozzie a bust? Okay, now hold. Let me stop right now. Let me stop. But before you start saying he's a bust, that was one play in practice. Okay. One play in practice where they are trying to have him at a different position. Okay, and that's where I say, you can't judge one play in practice, okay? We had Dennis Houston have one-handed grab catch in the corner of the end zone, and people were anointing him as the next Odell Beckham Jr., and he's not in the NFL anymore, okay? And probably has maybe 3 catches to his career. So sometimes we anoint people by what they've done in training camp, and then we kill other people in training camp that end up becoming very productive players. Okay, so that's what that's where I'll leave it. However, if we see more of that, then you really have to be worried. Marcus Blackman can't wait either. These Eagle fans, oh my God, they are feeling themselves so much. They are driving me literally up the wall with this crap. So then, wow. Tracy, I need you to do a shirt, The Stupid Things Jerry and Stephen Jones Say, to go with the Dumb and Dumber. Because I'm trying to understand that. Now we've got something that actually is good news. Loyal Cowboy, how are you doing? They're trying to make Mozzie a quarterback pressure so bad, but he's a run stopper. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem, Loyal, is he's not playing what he needs to. The Cowboys are talking out of both sides of their neck because, we keep hearing all this stuff that Micah has to want to get paid. What does that mean? Are you literally saying he's like, no, I'm good, man. Don't pay me. I've never heard an instance of Micah Parsons saying, I don't want to get paid. I've never heard him say. I feel like Dan Saleo when he first heard about me. I've never heard of Micah Parsons saying he doesn't want to get paid. I will say Micah Parsons has shown everything that you think of to say I want to get paid. He's in perfect shape. He's chomping at the bit. He's been a team leader. He's shown up for OTAs, even though he doesn't have a contract. He's here. I don't know what more he has to do to prove to them that he wants to get paid, unless they're saying that he has to, bend over backwards or hang out with Christian Wilkinson or something. I don't know what that means. That he has to show that he wants to get paid, or is it that they're trying to say we want you to take a lesser deal, which he offered and you could have had you gotten this thing done. So I don't know where this thing goes, but you have Jerry Jones admitting that this may be the most talented player that he's ever had, although he did say Brandon Wheaton throws, that Brandon Wheaton, he throws the prettiest ball that you've ever seen. And then they cut his ass 2 weeks later. So there's that.
Stephen a little earlier today, and of course he was asked about the Micah situation and the response from some of the fans yesterday, and he said, we want to pay Micah if Micah wants to get paid. Do you think Micah's side is as serious about this negotiation right now as you guys are?
Oh, yes. Obviously, Micah, first of all, does want to get paid. He's getting paid. He gets about 20-something million right now. And that's pretty easy, 20 million standing there watching practice out there at the same time we're going on. But seriously, I don't have a lot to say about it. This is pretty commonplace.
Just real quick before we move on, you said he's getting paid for standing there watching. Is it disappointing to you that he's not practicing?
Not really, because I don't want him to get hurt. And he plays a contact, what you call a motion contact position. And linebackers, fullbacks, those guys are usually in the fray of it, and they take a pretty big of the brunt of the physicality of the game. So all of that is out there, but we'll see where this goes. But this is commonplace. It's commonplace around the NFL. It's commonplace here.
Oh, motion, physicality. What the hell? What was that, Jerry? Did anybody else understand what Jerry Jones was trying to say? He literally was saying, earlier when he was getting booed basically by the fans saying, pay Micah, he was talking about 1990 something, we're going to be great. What, Jerry, are you losing it, buddy? Are you losing it? Now, I don't know if this is just the games that Jerry and Steven are playing, or, and that they're actually working on this thing and they're going to go ahead and surprise us when you least expect it. The good news is the fact that they got Ferguson done. I don't know if that was a message to Micah to say, you better hurry up and get paid before all the money's gone or what. But, Ferguson getting that done, you really are saying we believe in him after one good season, but it's locking him in at $13 million. And you're really not paying him on that contract and as far as the cap numbers go until next year. So you're locking him in there at $13 million a year when the franchise tag price next year is $16 million and the highest paid is somewhere, I think, around $19 million. So that's a good deal for the team. We ended up hearing today that DaRon Bland admitted that there have been some talks about him getting his contract getting done, which would be good to get that done. Although I kind of thought with the Cowboys, when you listen to Jerry Jones talking about how, maybe I should have waited on Diggs's or Terrence Steele's deals, you might think, okay, maybe DaRon Bland is in that same category because you had Diggs with, record-setting interceptions his second year. He ended up getting paid, and then he's injured the next couple of years. Well, you had DaRon Bland, who was, great his second year and injured most of last year, and now you're talking about paying him. So I could understand if you said, I really could understand if you said, we're going to wait until next year to pay him and just double check and see that he has another good season. So you're working and looking and talking to them. The other part that's kind of interesting too is, and I think it would be wise to get that deal done too, is Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith, who has been out the box a great offensive lineman. You don't look at him and say he takes time off or you have to worry about him being a good player. That's not to say that he couldn't get injured tomorrow and it ends up being the end of his career. But and that's possible with any player. But from what he has done thus far in his career, you got to take care of him. And the sooner you take care of him, the better. Rashawn Slater getting $28.5 million yesterday. $28.5 million, record-setting offensive lineman money. We could be looking at him being $30 million next year. So it may be that set a fire underneath the Joneses to say, we need to get these things done. Joe DeMasi, Eric Walls, me, but Mark doesn't watch baseball. No, I ain't got time for baseball. Here's the thing. If I started doing baseball, I'd have to say goodbye to my wife. Because we have an agreement that with the amount of time that I spend on the Dallas Cowboys, which maybe if I were a Tampa Bay Buccaneers YouTuber, I'd have more time. But the amount of time I spend on the Cowboys, I couldn't. Was it 161 games? That's too many games. It's too much. Pay them boys. No excuses. September 4th. Wait a minute. How? Wait a minute. No excuses. No, the Eagles fans, y'all, how? So, I'm trying to understand this. No excuses. You've been telling us how much better your roster is and literally how we shouldn't even be on the same field with you guys. Isn't that what y'all say? You got the best running back in football, best offensive line. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback to ever throw the football, of course. And he is just being disrespected. That's your defense with all the youngins and everything else, that they are so much better. What do you mean we don't have any excuses? It's not like we got a loaded roster. Hell, we just lost our left tackle who probably won't be able to play against you. Mark, hope you got that shit snow shovel ready. Oh, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby Vinisky. Thank you for the super chat. I could always count on you for giving me some shit. Then I should just take what Mark says with a grain of salt as well. What did I say, Leo? I say we got a puncher's chance against you guys. We do. Everybody has a chance against another team. Sometimes you can get some breaks that make all the difference in the world. Oh, Logan said, okay. Oh, so you're back on the bandwagon. Okay. Well, we'll take care of actually getting it printed when we get back from vacation. I got you, Logan. Shout out to you. I also need to know what size there too, Logan. All right. Oh, yeah, right. And I forgot about that. But he was back at practice. Terrence Steele was injured as well, which they thought was a high ankle sprain. Turned out it was more of a mild one. He was back at practice. Leo Bridge, I don't think, and see, that's, and you thank you, Joe. I appreciate you standing up for me on that one. That's the thing that I keep trying to understand here, because Leo acts like I'm saying that we're going to beat the Eagles 2 times, we're going to be running the table, we're going to the Super Bowl and everything else. And I have not said any of that stuff. I have already been on record to say many, many times, we have a new coach, all new coaching staff, we have a lot of new players that most of them have been kind of disappointments as first-round picks that we're trying to put together. And after having the season that we had last year and the schedule that we have this year, that, it's going to be tough sledding. I said if we make the playoffs, to me, that will be a successful season, having all this adversity. I think what you're going to need to do is compare what the Cowboys do with other teams that have new coaches that are in the same situation. That's not to say that they can't be better than advertised. Kiana Gibson, how are you doing? SB1, he better get signed and bleeping now. How many of you guys get injured in practice? All you guys do is ride broomsticks like little kids. Ooh, okay. Dallas, Philadelphia will be the best game of the season. September 4th, fly, Eagles fly. Let's just have fun supporting our team. Amen on that one. You guys stuck in a blender every year with Jerry. You know what? I can't disagree with that one, Bobby. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, sometimes the Cowboys win in spite of those guys. I'll be real with you. The stuff that they're doing sometimes just makes no sense. You look and say, great move on Jake Ferguson. Great move. You're trying to get Bland and stuff done and Tyler Smith, but you're not taking care of Micah. At the same time, you're talking about he's one of the most talented players you've ever had. Then why aren't you treating him as such? I don't understand it at all. At nauseum, I don't understand it at all. So far in camp, though, we have had some guys that are looking good. Like I mentioned, Jaden Blue looks great. The George Pickens and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb deep balls. Oh, my God. Viable. Is Tyler Guyton going to play against the Eagles at Mark Holmes? They say 4 to 6 weeks for his injury. And I'm going to probably say he probably won't, since he won't be practicing in training camp. That by the time if the Cowboys' timeline is right, I don't think they'll go ahead and just put him against against the Eagles without having some practice time behind them. Oh, actually, I did criticize. Oh, yes, I did. I criticized the Cowboys for not going a little bit deeper, because when they had those 12-5 teams, you could look and say, damn, if we had just gotten a couple of run stoppers and another linebacker or another receiver, maybe we could have gone deep in the playoffs if we had some depth. And the Cowboys refused to do it. I was, going against them, of course, when we let go a lot of players that could actually help us. So don't say that we don't give. We trust me. We give them hell all the way around. Jerry Jones never had the football IQ to run a team. But I'm not going to say that. The thing I will say is I don't know what to say on that. Jerry loves the limelight. Even when Jerry was sitting up there and they were literally booing him, you see him smiling, don't you? It's like, I think he's one of those ones, he's a narcissist that understands he likes to trick people's emotions. That's a great point, Walker Wade, that Tyler Smith, shout out to you, Walker Wade, that you could end up moving Tyler Smith to left tackle. You could do a whole shakeup. You could end up taking Cooper Beebe and putting him at guard and Brock Hoffman at center. That is a possibility, but that would be a short-term fix. Now, here's one thing, though, Leo, that I can say is Jerry Jones' statements don't always match up with what the Cowboys do. Okay? Jerry Jones, to me, is like, I don't know if you've ever been to dog racing, but in dog racing, they have like the jackrabbit that jumps out and he goes around the track. So the dog's chasing, right? That's Jerry Jones. He's the distraction. And he, as he says, well, I haven't talked to the agent, Todd France, which is true, because it's actually Stephen Jones who messes up the contracts and talks to the agents. And here's one other point I will say too. As much as we keep hearing about, the Cowboys can't keep anybody because of CeeDee Lamb's contract and Dak Prescott's contract, right? Well, you got the two of them at $65 million. That's what the cap number is for Dak and CeeDee combined this year. Is Dak Prescott really preventing them from getting players? We got $31 million of cap space right now. And you got more money coming if you get Micah's done. So saying the excuse of the Cowboys can't get anybody because they're paying Dak and CD doesn't hold water. Because you can look and say you got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. You got, Jalen Hurts. You got all these guys paid that add up to a whole hell of a lot more than Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. It's just how you structure them. All that boxing paid off. Instead of going to Lane Johnson's camp offseason, I'm going to enjoy another enjoyable Dallas drama-filled season. Long live Jerry Jones. Damn, Bobby Beninsky, you're in second place right now. God damn. You Eagle fans, man, I can't have another Eagle fan win. I guess we'll have to say that the Mad magazine, me as Alfred E. Newman, will be the standard for any Eagle fans that win shirt, with me having a tooth knocked out. Correct, Mark. Don't let Joneses fool you guys. They got money. Yeah, because as much as you blame Dak now, then how come I would take that if when Dak was a rookie or a second year or third year or fourth year, that they were going out there and they were getting players left and right. They had him for $680,000, people. And they didn't bring in anybody. Joe DeMessi, they kill me. They kill you. They kill me too. It's amazing that people actually pay to go ahead and just belittle me. But it's okay. If you want to belittle me and pay me, hey, I'm all for it. So why not take the cautionary ostrich approach rather than spend time trying to convince other things are different? Well, there's. Oh, now we're getting complex here. I will say, here's the thing that I can also say, and maybe Jerry Jones is crazy like a fox, that you have to have somebody to hate, okay? You Eagle fans have me to hate, right? The players are all backing Micah Parsons. The players are coalescing behind him. The players are coalescing behind Brian Schottenheimer. The players are excited to be on the field. Don't worry, Jerry giving away free Kool-Aid at camp. I got a crazy story about Kool-Aid here. No, seriously, this is kind of crazy. We went to this place called Big Mike's. It's a soul food place that's, a couple of blocks away. and it's rated as some best soul food that you ever get. So me and the missus walked over there, and we waited for about an hour to get our food to go. But I was looking at the board, and it was $2.99 for iced tea. It was $2.99 for a Coke with free refills. But Kool-Aid was $4 with no refills. And I'm kind of like, how is Kool-Aid more expensive than the Coke and you get no refills? Only thing I can think of is because I guess they have to make it in the packets and it's more expensive. But Kool-Aid, $4? $4 for a Kool-Aid? Give me a beer. Spoken like a true Dallas Cowboys. Okay. But no, Jerry Jones, I can say the team's excited out there. I can see that Deron Bland is saying, and Micah Parsons, these players are saying, I want to be a Cowboy for life. Jerry Jones hasn't turned them to say, F this team, I want to get out. Has it? Right or wrong? It hasn't turned the players against wanting to be a Cowboy. My approach to Super Chat sounds eerily like somebody who's been groomed by Jerry. I don't like that idea of saying groomed. That don't sound right. Groomed. First of all, grooming and me have nothing in common, okay? All right? Look at my hair. Look at my wife. See, I love when my wife's sitting here because she's cracking up and stuff. She's like, true. She's like, yeah. She's just she's like, after 20-some years, that's just Mark. I just can't do nothing with it. Dak played good with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, and that's going to be the whole hope. We got to pray that those guys stay healthy because that deep ball that they've got, that connection already in camp, that's going to make it really, really hard for people to put 8 men in the box. And Jaden Blue right now, is Mozzie Salio still carrying pads around at camp? Oh, man. He's hardly carrying his own pads right now, man. I hate to say that, but he's got to do better than this, man. But listen, we only had 2 days of padded practices, okay? He might just be tired, okay? He was just tired and taking that play off, all right? Bobby wants in. Mark, I haven't asked. Oh, okay. Mike is going to get tagged. Jerry knew. He said when he would take less. Well, technically, he's got a contract for this year. And if we go back to Zach Martin, okay? Zach Martin had to hold out twice. And here's the flip side. Okay, let me give you the flip side of this too. Everybody says, well, if you had hurried up and paid Micah Parsons, you'd be done. And that's true. You would have been done a year or so ago. But here's the thing. Zach Martin, when he signed his contract, he was the second highest paid guard. All of a sudden, the guard money just blew up. And Zach Martin said, hey, wait a minute. 2 years in. 2 years in on his deal, he's like, wait a minute. I'm one of the best in the business, and I want to get paid like it. And so he dug his heels in, and he held in 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And he finally got his contract on the 14th of August when training camp was just about over. So hold on to your hats. It may be a long time before we see Micah Parsons get his deal done. And you couldn't argue with Zach Martin being a guy who deserved to get another contract. And had Micah gotten his deal 2 years ago, you could be looking at him saying next year, hey, no, I'll be back. I'll be back later this week, Logan. I'll be back before the Hall of Fame game. But you could have been looking at, Micah saying, "Hey, I want a new contract. I got $30 million a year, and now it's $45 million. So I want more money." Aisha Robinson in the house. How are you doing? My eyes are doing kind of funky things, and it's hard for me to actually read the chats and stuff on here. So forgive me, Aisha. Hope you're doing good. Eagles players always need pads. They're always bleeding everywhere. Laugh out loud. Jay Smooth. Come on, man. Honestly, Shotty might be pulling a major league move. Get a cardboard cutout of Jerry Hyde. No, yeah, I don't know that we want to see Jerry Jones in a bathing suit, though. But I feel you. And that's where I feel like it's, Brian Schottenheimer's like, dude, I'm with you here, man. Jerry, I'm trying to get him to get these deals done, but ownership is just, they're asses, man. But I got your back. Coyote, it's a crazy situation. But it's not like y'all act like it's something new. We just went through CeeDee Lamb last year. And we just went through Zach Martin the year before. I mean, come on. When they have to write the big check, they milk that thing for more publicity. And you saw Jerry up there. Fans telling him, pay Micah, pay Micah. It's like, yeah, I'm pulling y'all strings. Because that's what he's pulling your strings. Try turning the brightness up on the screen. What, me? No, well, that's not the problem. I'm having a hard time seeing my vision of loveliness over there. Not on a Cowboys channel, no-fly zone. Yeah, this is definitely in a no-fly zone for the Eagles. All right, so as we're rolling on through here, Leo, how's everything going on the Eagles side of the equation over there? Is everything looking picture perfect? No interceptions? Saquon running all over the place? Can I get a shirt? Oh, Bobby. Oh, my God. Bobby's going to be our win. Not another Eagle. No. Can I get a shirt with Jerry and some Kool-Aid? Jerry sipping some Kool-Aid? Okay. I'll have to talk to Miss Tracy on that one. It may be that you get the Alfred E. Newman Mark Holmes version shirt there, Bobby, that the Eagles have kicked my teeth out. But shout out to you. Cowboy fans. And Jeff Lee. Where's my boy Jeff? Jeff, you're not supposed to let Eagle fans win. Come on, man. Ringo got cooked all day. Ringo going to get cooked against CD and George Pickens. I can tell you that right now. Damn, Jeff. Jeff, you let me down. My name is Jeff. Come on, Jeff. You can't let them win. Damn. Game time, I'm going to have to get with you, buddy, and get the pulse of Eagle fans because I'm sure they're chomping at the bit and feeling great. Market Cowboy fan winning on another channel. I can't understand it, man. Thing is, Jerry Jones is not pulling strings. He's just standing there waiting for somebody else to get signed for more money to cost goes up. Did it with Dak. Glenn Moran, you're right. Damn, we're living rent-free, laugh out loud. Jay Smoove, it went out on Thursday. You should be getting it. You should. I tell you what, I'll check with Michael and get you the tracking number. We're only talking football training camp and nothing about the owner or GM. We do have a mark at DB2. Local radio's cooking Ringo. Cool. Well, as long as you're cooking somebody out there. All righty, good people. We're rolling down the stretches here. Hopefully tomorrow will be more of a injury-free day. And I can't believe even Logan Motorsports is in third. Jeff, come on, Jeff. Dirty Sanchez is in second. And Bobby Beninsky. Bobby, email me, cowboysmark94@gmail. I need to know what your shirt size is, too, buddy. All righty, let's get out of here with Jerry Jones.
I've eaten a lot of raccoon. Yes, the answer is yes. And I've eaten it hunting. I've actually had it served by my mom at the table away from hunting. And I have eaten raccoon. And yes, it's not uncommon at all. I'll tell you something that is one of my favorites is squirrel. And it's wonderful, and my mother could do a great job of it. And We all had our favorite pieces, and my dad and sister, I have one sibling, a sister, and they would fight over, not fight, but my mom and I, they were just my sister and I as far as siblings. My mom and I wouldn't even ask for the brain in a squirrel.
Oh, man.
And delicious, seriously.
My dad loves cow.